Nouveau Monde Graphite. We can find this stock under NMG on the New York Stock Exchange or under NOU in Canada. And this one I actually like quite a bit, so I'm excited for today's video. In the last month, it looks like it's basically flat. In the last 6 months, up 70%. Year to date, it's up by 84. In the last year, it's up by 100%. It's doubled. I like this stock because it's right into a trend that I am quite familiar with. The second thing is that I actually really like how the chart looks right now. There's a few things we look for on any chart. Volume precedes price. There's a lot of volume here. If we zoom out, it's a little bit easier to see. Secondly, it really reminds me of this chart, the stock market psychology chart. We've talked about this, and there has been a really big cycle on the stock. Look at what it did. All the way up, all the way down, and now with the classic pattern, we have high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, until we stop doing lower highs. Eventually, the stock stops going down, which you can see right here. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, double top, higher high, higher high. Then it goes from disbelief and graduates all the way back over to this side here, where people say, this is a sucker's rally, and then it turns into, this rally will fail like the others. A recovery is possible. The rally is real. Time to get fully invested. So what was the story we heard in 2020 versus today? It's very curious. I'm going to give you an update on that. And if we have a look here a little bit closer, what do we have? We have low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And the second thing I really like I mentioned, we have the higher highs, but just like any chart we look at, what used to be resistance, if it acts as support, that's a really, really good sign. So it has all the classic reasons why it should go up. And what we mentioned in other videos is that if we understand the reason why the stock has been going higher for the last year, it can tell us a bit more about the future because objects in motion generally stay in motion. So if we can understand why the stock is going up, maybe it can continue to go higher, where the recovery could be real, the rally is here, and everything could go higher. The other reason why is because leaders lead and followers follow. This is not a Canadian company. It is an American company, but it's MP Materials. And this chart had the exact same thing. Lower highs until it started having higher highs and higher lows. So it forms an arrow going up. The volume came in, as you can note right here, volume comes in. And then when it comes in, oh my goodness, it goes up. And it's gone up a lot. The reason why I'm putting this out is because this looks very, very interesting to me. When we have support, where we used to have resistance, just like I showed you on the other chart, this is exactly what I would want to see. This is a large company. If we look back here to NMG, it's worth roughly $500 million. If we look to MP Materials, this is a big company. It's worth $11.5 billion. So it's 20 times bigger. If this one's leading, the followers might be able to follow. All right, we understand that. So MP went first, all the way down, and then all the way back. And I have been investing in this theme for a while, so I know what people said. I watched it. I saw the tape. Let's step back in time to December 2024, not that long ago. U.S. graphite miners asked Washington to impose 920% tariff on Chinese rivals. Why did they do that? Well, we don't have to go any further than the Department of Energy. They tell us what are critical minerals and what's the list. Okay, so we can go through here. We can watch the video. It's just not working right now on the embed. But if we look here, let's search for the word graphite. Oh, it shows up here. Okay. So I think it's niobium. That's the one that MP Materials makes. There's a lot of stuff on this list here. We got everything in here. Let's make it really simple. The Department of Energy gives us two lists. First list says that we have critical materials for energy. Then we have critical minerals in general. Graphite is on both. There's natural graphite, there's normal graphite. And the reason why I really like graphite, I'm invested in another private company for graphite. When I look here for 2025, which is right now, we're going from 2025. Where's graphite on the list? It's red. It's right there. It's critical. Today, it's critical. And for tomorrow, it's also very critical. So why does this matter? We're going to go through and discuss that right now. Let me see if I can find the one image I want to show you here. If you like EVs, this is from Visual Capitalist, where they show us EVs versus gas cars. Well, look at the weight. This is like not rocket science. 66.3 kilograms of graphite. Copper's next, nickel after, manganese, cobalt, lithium. So everyone talks about lithium, but like, look at the size of graphite compared to the lithium. Graphite kind of matters. So if we understand what graphite is now, we know that it's critical already. There's not as many that are on the critical here. We got neodymium. I think that's the one that MP Materials does. We got dysprosium, cobalt, gallium, graphite, iridium, terbium. But the list grows from near critical now to more critical in the future. So, okay, this makes sense now. We understand what's going on here. So why would we now look at Nouveau Monde Gold? Again, the stock is found under NMG on the New York Stock Exchange, or NOU over in Canada. Because they want to be the first is poised to be the largest vertically integrated natural graphite in North America and local alternative to the Chinese production. So I'm recording this on October 30th. But as of right now, like, the stock looks like it's set up for success. There's a lot of wind in its sails. When we understand why, we will look at this one here, fully integrated for natural graphite. I just showed you why it matters, at least for the United States. Now, if we move forward here, again, October 30th. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on the 31st, but at least as of today, this is what I saw. G7 Energy and Environment meeting ministers. So we know that the United States Energy Department has told us that graphite is important. Canada is trying to negotiate critical mineral deals with a lot of countries, including Germany, including I think every other G7 partner. I'm not going to go through and dig out every single article. This is really relevant for right now, October 30 and 31. Okay, let's step back in time for a few minutes here, going back to 2022. Because back then, they told us something very peculiar. The Canadian Critical Mineral Strategy from Exploration to Recycling, powering the green and digital economy for Canada and for the world. Natural Resources Issuing Body. What did they tell us? Canada's whole of government approach to critical minerals development will be collaborative, forward-looking, iterative, adaptive, and long-term. The initiatives presented in the strategy will be implemented and refined in collaboration with provincial, territorial, Indigenous, industry, and other Canadian international partners. So the U.S. and Canada governments have been working together since then. There is a lot of graphite that goes into batteries. But if now we focus on the recent news, on October 24th, our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, he tells us that he's going to deliver a climate values. Right now, it's being questioned. Here he is giving a keynote address at Lloyd's of London in 2015. That's when he was the Bank of England governor. So what they say here is that he's going to deliver a climate competitive strategy on November 4th. It's a very peculiar date because now looking back here to 2024, NMG this is Nouveau Monde Graphite and Panasonic Energy is that word right there. We just noticed it. Announced a binding offtake agreement for $25 million in a private placement to secure the supply of active anode material for North America battery production. So this is like pretty big. They already have big companies working with them. For what? For North America. So if we understand that they're already doing it, we'll dig into the reason why their specific location is positioned for success in a moment. But let's go back here to 2022. Around the same time, it's the same year that we had that update from the government of Canada. Nouveau Monde Graphite, Panasonic Energy, and Mitsui announced an offtake and strategic partnership supporting supply of active anode plus $50 million private placement. Investissement Québec. There you go. Right, they're getting into there. We go through here. These guys look a little bit happy. We are pleased to be participating in the strategic partnership with NMG, which will allow us to explore the possibility of establishing an environmentally friendly supply chain in North America through a completely new integrated anode production in Canada. So that 990% tariff, there's a reason why it's hard to compete with China. And NMG also secured an agreement with GM Canada and $150 million equity investment. Wow. So parallel offtake with Panasonic Energy Okay. Which combined with GM supply will cover approximately 85% of their planned active material production at its phase 2 Benancourt battery material plant. Very, very interesting. Collaboration provides GM with a source of carbon neutral active anode material. So there's been a lot of discussion over in Quebec and Ontario about cars lately, in case you did not notice. But let's go back in time to 2020, because this word right here really sticks out to me. It's a global battery alliance. Nouveau Monde drives traceability for critical battery materials in conjunction with the Battery Alliance. So who's in the Battery Alliance? Mitsubishi, SK Innovations, Very Curious, Umicore, Volkswagen, Volvo. Their desire for traceability is a firm trend among consumers and will provide Nouveau Monde customers with a guarantee of transparency. I think a lot of cars get made in Germany. I think they need graphite too. And if you're putting it into a car, it's important to understand how the graphite is made. A lot of it is not actually all that very environmentally friendly, but it's very important. So this is where green active anode material. At the heart of Quebec's battery hub, NMG is developing Bécancour Battery Materials Plant, a complete advanced manufacturing platform for value-adding graphite processing. Approximately 44,000 tons per year of active anode and other specialized products, 200,000 square meter facility in Bécancour, and about 150 kilometers northeast of Montreal. So the reason why this is so interesting is because they have basically hydro, right? They're powered by hydro. So it's pretty cheap and it's pretty environmentally friendly. Canada has a lot of lakes. We have the Great Lakes is what they call them. So we have a lot of abundant energy. That's why there's also a lot of steel and aluminum that's made up in Quebec. I think it's the aluminum industry that's really big there. And this could just go right alongside it. So they're maximizing the local benefit by having specialized training. And this is what they do. They can make concentrates, which I happen to like, critical mineral concentrates. The reason why is because it's what makes this a battery. So they tell you right here at Matawini, they have the flake graphite, natural flake graphite. Again, critical mineral list from the Department of Energy. And in a concentrate that goes to spherical graphite, spherical purified graphite, coated purified graphite, and then it goes into a battery. There's also another value chain that after it is now in the battery can be recycled and go all the way back through the same cycle. Ironically, I know one of their company's partners. They're called Green Graphite, and they're working with them to try to create that in Canada as well. So there's a lot of really interesting things happening at the company. If we go back to the chart here, I showed you about MP Materials. They had huge deals with the US government. This company has a few things. They've got a lot of really big, again, big names in the company. The chart looks like the stock market psychology chart. Volume precedes price. And there's a lot of really interesting things that could potentially happen in the next few days. So if you want to find out more about the company, again, you can find them under NMG or Nouveau Monde Graphite on the New York Stock Exchange or NOU in Canada. And please make sure to read the description for full disclosure details, including that this is distributed and conducted on behalf of Nouveau Monde Graphite and was funded by Outside the Box Capital. Thank you very much for tuning into today's video. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.